That when times of like this are occurring, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran that there has been fitna and fasad which is widespread in the dunya, and the only people responsible are you yourselves. You have done it with your own hands, with your own sins, with your own actions. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not do dhulm. He does not do something which is not befitting a situation. Whatever is happening is because of our actions. Had we been practicing the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had we been showing a practical example of being a Muslim, then these things would not have occurred. But we have slacked. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pardon us and forgive us. And when we ask for forgiveness, we ask this with a sincere heart, to stop all those bad things that we are doing, and we start to do all those good things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us through His blessed Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The seventh point, which my dear Shaykh mentioned, is exercise patience and remain within the boundary which has been shown to us by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Patience is a great thing. Patience is a great virtue. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions that a person who is brave is not one who is taken over by his anger. But a true brave person is he who controls his anger. That at a time of anger, he does not take any unjust action. The famous story of Ali radiallahu anhu. During a battle, he is having a one-on-one fight with this brave person from the side of the kuffar, who challenged him, say, Ali, come on. And Ali radiallahu anhu took on the challenge. So the fight went on, and Ali radiallahu anhu dropped him on the floor and was on his chest. And at that point, as Ali radiallahu anhu was about to strike his final blow, this man spits in the face of Ali radiallahu anhu. Now imagine the anger that is going through Ali radiallahu anhu at that moment. He would have thrown his sword if he would have been overcome by his anger, tortured him even more before killing him. If it was us, we would have definitely done that. How can somebody spit on my face? Ali radiallahu anhu, realizing immediately that my anger has come over me, and if I kill this man, I will be killing him because of my nafs, because of my anger. I will no longer be doing it for the sake of Allah, for which I have come here. So he immediately gets off his chest and walks away. So the Sahaba around him ask, why did you do that? He spat in your face. And Ali radiallahu anhu says that before he spat on my face, I was fighting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My intention was to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when he spat in my face, my intention changed. I wanted to take revenge. So this is the seventh point. That when our anger and our emotions take over us, we immediately take account of ourselves and stop. Think about it. Why are we getting angry? And are we crossing the limit of Sharia to exercise our anger? So these are the 7 points that my Shaykh mentions, and inshaAllah, if we practice on these 7 points, this will be very beneficial inshaAllah. Now going on I started with the verse, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. This is related to the miracles of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we will go into some of the miracles of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to revive the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our hearts. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was migrating from Makkah to al-Mukarramah to Madinatul Munawwara, he set off at night or early morning and let Ali radiallahu anhu sleep in his bed. And as he was leaving, he knew that the kuffar were waiting for him and hiding in places ready to kill him as he was walking out for his Fajr Salah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam picked up some soil in his hands and he threw it. And the miracle there was that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that this sand or soil he picked up, particles from it went into each and every person who was waiting to kill him and went into their eyes and blinded them for a few moments until Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam walked past them without them noticing. Upon this I recited the verse, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. That I am going through these miracles of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it is our aqidah that all of these miracles were given to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was nothing of a doing of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. We do not believe that these miracles were given to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to do at his free will. This was given to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at specific moments. And these miracles were given to him so that those people who had iman, this would increase them in iman. And those who had doubts, they would call him a kahin and a sahir. And they would go further into Jahannam. They would dig a deeper hell for themselves. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that on that night, on that morning, when you picked up those pebbles and you threw them, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ, you did not throw when you were throwing, وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. That was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who was throwing. That miracle was not your own doing. It was only through the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that it so happened. Many miracles have been shown in the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Too many to cover in this short time. The biggest miracle that was given to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as we all know, was the Quran. The Quran was the biggest miracle of all miracles. Just imagine a young boy who has had no education at all. He grows up, reaches the age of 40, and during his youth, the only thing he has been doing is herding goats and sheep. And as soon as he turns 40, he becomes a surgeon. Without going to medical school, without having anybody in his lineage who was a doctor, without getting any training from any doctor. And he becomes a surgeon all of a sudden. Wouldn't that be a miracle? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was ummi. And that's why we are called ummatun ummi. That he was uneducated. He could not read, he could not write. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had no formal education. But when he was in the Mount of Hira, an angel came to him and taught him words which he did not know. And the revelation of the Quran started. Words which could not be matched by anybody in history, and which will never be matched by anybody to come. With so much eloquence and so much detail. The Quran by far was the biggest miracle of all time, and will remain the biggest miracle of time to come. Other miracles of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam include the abundance of rizq. Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, on seeing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam hungry, invited him to a meal. He said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, please come to my house. I would like to invite you for a meal. And the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam with himself brought a crowd of people along. Abu Talha had only one loaf of rye bread at home. Only one loaf. And Sulaim, who was Abu Talha's wife, spread some butter on it. And the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed for abundance on this loaf of bread. And since there was not enough space for all the people, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there is only space for 10, and let 10 people come in at a time. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself started distributing this bread. Every single person of this crowd ate to their fill, and there was still bread remaining at the end. And this is a sahih hadith. All the hadith that I'm going to be going through will be sahih hadith, inshallah. Jabir radiallahu anhu. Jabir radiallahu anhu was once confronted by the people he owed money to. Now Jabir radiallahu anhu, he didn't owe any money personally, but because his father had left debts, it was Jabir radiallahu anhu's responsibility to make sure that he paid those people off. Being the only son, Jabir radiallahu anhu was only left a garden of dates, date trees. And the harvest from that year was so little that it would not even have covered one person's debt. So he comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he says, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I have a problem. My father has left a big debt, and these people are coming to me and they will be asking for their money. And the only thing that I can pay them with is the harvest that I have got. But the harvest was so little that unfortunately I will not even be able to pay one person. It will take several years to clear off this debt. So Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all I am asking you is please come with me. Come with me so that these people who are asking for their money do not be cruel to me, because you will be there. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam agrees, and he goes with Jabir radiallahu anhu into the garden where the date trees were, and he circles the piles of dates that they were ready to give out.